evening, everybody. We are so excited and humbled and just love being here tonight with North City family. So thanks for having us. I'm Morlie Hunt. So the handsome guy that was up here playing the piano, talented, was my husband, Curtis Hunt. And we have been Weber Camden neighbors for about 3 years. We moved over here August 2020 at the top of the pandemic. And actually, we are now moved out. So we just moved out of the neighborhood. So that is as far as that's concerned. Curtis and I have been married for 22 years, come August 31st, and we have 3 boys. Ethan is our oldest, who's 18. I have Nathaniel, who's 16, and Gabriel, who's 14. And Curtis and I both work bivocationally as entrepreneurs, and we've also worked in the local church, so we enjoy doing a lot of different things. Please forgive me, I'm new at speaking, so I'm excited to share with you today. Thank you. So I've worked in the beauty industry, as Kara said, for 25 years, customer service, retail, salon owner, education. I like to do lots of different types of things. So you could say that I'm a pretty multifaceted worker, and I've enjoyed doing that. And so I just want to jump right in. So I want to start with the definition, restorer. So restorer is a person whose job is to repair old buildings, works of art, etc., so that they look as they did when they were new. And we'll get to why that's important. I would say that I'm definitely a multifaceted person, like I mentioned earlier, meaning I enjoy trying many different things and sometimes all at once. For example, when I was young, I wanted to participate in all the things: music, theater, sports, you name it, I tried it or I did it. I loved being with people. I loved talking with people and finding out who they were, all about their families, their likes, their dislikes. And if any of you have heard of the personality test called Strength Finders, I can tell you right now, my top 5 is an includer, positivity, and belief. So when I think back, I can see those characteristics flesh out as a young girl. I believed in the impossible, that that it could happen, that anybody could do anything, and that everybody was invited. I was always working on planning how to help a friend, how to plan a party, or how we could plan a party to help a friend. So just wanted to party all the time and help people. In elementary school, I would get in trouble for talking too much. Once my mom was called down to the school, and when she arrived, my desk was in the hallway, and so was I, because when the teacher would ask me to stop talking, I couldn't. So she thought if she moved me next to somebody who wasn't my friend, I would still talk. So I didn't stop, hence my mom being called and my desk in the hallway. When the end of the school year awards came around, I wouldn't get the science award or the math award or the ELA award. I would get the social director award, just to give you a little hint about who I am. As I grew older, all of these things seemed to turn into busyness, into people pleasing, into burnout. So while I believed fully that God designed me this way, I wasn't stewarding it very well. I wanted and still want to serve well my husband, my family, my children, my community, my church family. But I would say all these things were I would say that all these things were for the glory of God. And my actions sure did look like it was for the glory of God. But at the end of the day, I wasn't actually spending time with the one whom I was claiming all these things were good for. Jesus. It wasn't sustainable what I was doing. It was exhausting. And in the end, it was destructive. I went through some things. And there's a story in the Bible I'd like to share with you. I think most of you, and please forgive me, we moved yesterday and a lot of my things got packed when I didn't intend for it to get packed. So my Bible's on the phone today. So I'm going to go ahead and read to you from Luke chapter 10, verse 38 through 42. This is the story of Martha and Mary. As Jesus and the disciples continued on their way to Jerusalem, they came to a certain village where a woman named Martha welcomed him into her home. Her sister Mary sat at the Lord's feet, listening to what he taught. But Martha was distracted by the big dinner she was preparing. She came to Jesus and said, "Lord, doesn't it seem unfair to you that my sister just sits here while I do all the work? Tell her to come and help me." But the Lord said to her, "My dear Martha, you are worried and upset over all these details. There is only one thing worth being concerned about. Mary has discovered it, and it will not take away from her." So this short story in Scripture is so impactful. It's about duty and devotion. It's about work and worship. One way I see this story is that Mary and Martha are representatives of two important pieces of our walk with Jesus. Martha represents our action, our duties, the work. Mary represents our devotion, our prayer life, our worship, and our commitment. Martha was burning herself out by trying to prepare for this visit with Jesus and too busy to stop and enjoy her time with Jesus. As believers, this is easy to do. What I love in this story is that Jesus didn't say, "Why can't you be more like Mary, your sister?" He simply says, Mary has chosen the right thing for right now, which was to sit at the feet of Jesus. Jesus is simply highlighting for Martha the good news of God's grace. Jesus is the best example that intimacy with God the Father leads to acts of service. So service isn't a bad thing. Serving and doing isn't a bad thing. But where is the time that we sit at the feet of Jesus to be restored? Jesus wants to spend time with us, and here is why. Out of the busyness and at the feet of Jesus, we are transformed and we are restored. Whether you are more of a doer like Martha or more reflective like Mary, God is calling you to intimacy with him. This is why it's important to prioritize intimacy with Jesus. When you're weary and you're burdened, he gives you rest. Matthew 11:28 through 29 tells us that. When you're fearful and you're worried, Psalms 34:4 through 5, he gives you joy. Jesus is a restorer. So in the beginning, when I described what restorer means, it talked about somebody who restores a building, restores a work of art. Well, just so you know, you are his work of art. Your body is the temple of Christ. So just come and sit at his feet and be restored.